What if the money you make from driving Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, or any side hustle could quietly turn into real wealth without you working double hours or burning yourself out? What if 2026 could be the year your side hustle stops being just gas money, grocery money, or bill money, and becomes the start of your investment journey? Most people think they need a big income to invest, but the truth is, small, consistent investments from your side hustle can grow faster than you think.
Hey, real quick, before we jump into the video, please take some time to read the full disclaimer on the screen.
And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your Uber earnings into long-term wealth like a pro. Before we get into it, ask yourself something. How much money have you made in the last year from your side hustle? And how much of it has actually stayed with you? Be honest. Drop your answer in the comments. You might be shocked when you realize how fast the money disappears. But after this video, your money won't disappear anymore. You'll make it grow. Let's start with something powerful. When most people drive Uber or do gig work, they treat every payout as spending money. They cash out instantly. They use it for food, bills, emergencies, and sometimes just small luxuries that don't really matter. But here's the mindset shift. Your day job pays your life. Your side hustle builds your wealth. When you think like that, everything changes. In 2026, the investment world has become even easier for beginners. You don't need fancy knowledge. You don't need a financial advisor. You just need consistency, patience, and a plan. So let's break down a real example. Let's say you make $150 a week from Uber. Not too much, not too little, pretty average. If you take just $50 of that and invest it weekly, that's $200 a month, $2,400 a year. But here's the magic. If you put that $50 a week into a simple S&P 500 index fund and do it for 10 years, your money could potentially grow to around $40,000 or more depending on market conditions. And you didn't have to work extra hours. You just changed how you handle the money. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Most Uber drivers never think about investing in assets that can pay them back, things that create more money. But the truth is, every dollar you invest is like hiring a tiny worker who never sleeps, never complains, and works 24/7 for you. Eventually, those tiny workers start producing more tiny workers, and suddenly you have a growing team building wealth in the background. That's how the rich think. And you can start thinking the same way even with small amounts. Here's something to think about. What if you took one day of driving each week and dedicated that day's earnings to building your future? What if that one day could one day replace your whole week of driving? Would you try it? If yes, tell me in the comments which day of the week you'd dedicate to your future self. Now let's talk about how to invest your Uber earnings like a pro in 2026. The first step is automation. Removing yourself from the process is the easiest way to build consistency. As soon as Uber pays you, set up your bank to automatically move a small percentage, maybe 10% or even 20%, into an investment account. Because if you don't see that money, you won't spend it. And the small amounts won't hurt your lifestyle. You can still enjoy your money, but now you're also building something. Once your money lands in your investing account, the next step is picking investment vehicles that are simple and proven. You don't need to gamble on risky stocks. You don't need to guess the next big crypto coin. A simple solution like an index fund or ETF can do the heavy lifting for you. Picture this. One single index fund buys pieces of 500 companies for you. Imagine owning a tiny slice of Apple, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, all with one purchase. That's what the S&P 500 does. That's how straightforward wealth building can be. But maybe you want something more growth-focused. Maybe you believe in technology and the future. Then you can look into ETFs that focus on innovation, clean energy, artificial intelligence, or robotics. But always start safe before going into higher-risk investments. Think of it like driving. You don't start your first day on the road by going 90 mph on the freeway. You start slow, steady, and controlled. Now let's talk about something most people ignore: tax advantages. In 2026, side hustlers in the USA have even more tools to grow tax-free and tax-deferred money. For example, a Roth IRA allows your investments to grow tax-free for life. If you put even a small chunk of Uber earnings into a Roth IRA every month, the growth you get later can be completely tax-free. That is like getting a bonus from the government for investing, and most drivers have no idea this option exists. On top of that, if you're doing gig work, you're technically self-employed. That means you have access to a SEP IRA, another powerful retirement tool that lets you invest even more money and deduct it from your taxes. So not only do you invest your side hustle earnings, you also pay less in taxes. It's like getting a discount just for building wealth. But here's a question. Did you know side hustlers had access to these tax shelters? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm curious how many people knew. Let's keep going because this next part is incredibly important. A lot of people say they can't invest because they have bills, debt, or responsibilities. But the truth is, the earlier you start, even with tiny amounts, the easier your future becomes. I want you to think about something. If you don't invest anything for the next 5 years, where will you be financially? Probably the same place or maybe even worse. But if you invest a little every week for the next 5 years, even $20 a week, you will be way ahead of most people. The difference isn't income. The difference is planning. Now imagine this. Let's say you drive Uber for 2 hours after work. During those 2 hours, you make $40 an hour. That's $80. If you take just $20 from that 2-hour shift and invest it every time you drive, you won't even feel it. But in the long term, that $20 can turn into thousands. Not through luck, not through effort, but through consistency. This is how normal people become wealthy. Not by earning 6 figures, but by using small amounts wisely. Let me share a mindset trick used by a lot of financially smart people. Whenever they earn money, they separate it into 3 categories: money for now, money for later, and money for wealth. Your Uber earnings can follow the same system. Let's say 60% is for now, today's expenses, 30% is for later, emergency fund, and 10% is for wealth, investments. You can adjust the percentages however you like. The important part is having a system. There's also another smart move: investing in income-producing assets. For example, what if some of your Uber earnings went into dividend-paying stocks or REITs? These investments pay you money regularly, sometimes every quarter, sometimes monthly. Imagine earning passive income every month just because you invested part of your Uber income. That's how people slowly build a second source of income without extra labor. Now here's something most people overlook: skills. Yes, investing is powerful, but another way to transform side hustle money is to invest in yourself. Take a portion of your earnings and use it to learn skills that can help you earn more money later. Maybe it's digital marketing, coding, content creation, real estate knowledge, or financial literacy. When you invest in skills, your income potential grows. And once your income grows, your ability to invest grows too. So you create a cycle of growth. Let me ask you this. If you could learn one skill in 2026 that would boost your income, what would it be? Leave your answer in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone else watching this. Before we continue, if you're getting value from this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's working a side hustle right now. You never know who might need this information, and if you're serious about building wealth, subscribing means you won't miss future videos that could change your financial life. Now let's talk about discipline. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for the perfect moment to start investing. They say, "I'll start when I make more," or "I'll start after the holidays," or "I'll start when I feel ready." But the truth is, the best moment is the moment you start, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Growth comes from action, not perfection. Another powerful move is tracking your progress. You don't need complicated spreadsheets. You can use simple apps that show your investment growth month by month. Watching your money grow, even slowly, keeps you motivated. It reminds you that your effort is paying off. It keeps you consistent, and consistency is what builds wealth. Here's a question for you. What's the biggest financial goal you want to achieve before 2030? Is it buying a home, retiring early, starting a business, paying off debt? Let me know in the comments. Having goals makes investing feel meaningful. There's something else incredibly powerful: reinvesting. When your investments produce dividends or profits, don't cash them out. Reinvest them. Let them grow. This is what turns small snowballs into massive ones. When your money starts making money, and that money starts making more money, that's when wealth becomes inevitable. But let's be real. Investing requires patience. There will be times when the market goes up and you'll feel great. And there will be times when the market goes down and you'll feel worried. But as long as you keep investing consistently and avoid panic, history shows that the market grows over time. Wealth grows over time. But only for the people who stay in the game. Here's something to remember. You don't need to invest a lot to start. You just need to start. Your $10, $20, or $50 weekly investment is the seed. And seeds don't grow overnight. But give them time, sun, water, and patience, and they become trees. And trees give fruit for life. Now I want you to picture your future self. 10 years from now. You open your investment account and see thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars that came from the small weekly investments you made from your Uber earnings. How proud would your future self be of you? How relieved? How grateful? Because that future version of you doesn't have to worry as much, doesn't have to stress as much, doesn't have to struggle as much. And it all starts today. As we wrap up, remember this. Driving Uber or doing gig work doesn't have to be temporary income. It can be the foundation of your wealth journey. You don't need luck. You need consistency. You don't need a high income. You need a plan. And you don't need to wait. You need to start. If this video inspired you, hit the like button, subscribe for more life-changing content, and share this video with someone who needs a financial breakthrough. And don't forget to drop your answers to the questions I asked earlier. Your goals, your challenges, your dreams. I read every comment, and your answer might encourage someone else watching. Your side hustle money can do more than pay bills. It can build your future. And the best time to start is now.